How's this for the definition of irony? A conference about free speech on campus was cancelled by a Canadian university, fearful that a discussion about free speech might offend certain people who find the concept of free speech offensive. So there was this summit scheduled to take place at Toronto's Ryerson University last August entitled The Stifling of Free Speech on University Campuses. But at the 11th hour, a conference about a certain freedom most reasonable people cherish and champion was apparently too hot to handle for the politically correct wimps running Ryerson. Yes, I repeat, a panel discussion consisting of esteemed academics regarding the ongoing clampdown of free speech on campus was deemed inappropriate by a university in a Western democracy, thanks to a vocal minority who espoused veiled threats of violence. But as the saying goes, the show must go on, and on it went indeed. The fine folks at Canada Christian College made their facility available last Saturday for the conference. It's the same venue that has hosted rebel events in the past. Thankfully, there are still some people who care about freedom of speech and freedom of expression and freedom of assembly, people who won't be intimidated by thugs to shut up, pack up, and shut down. It should be noted that with the threat of violent disruption looming from the likes of Antifa, there was a large police presence at the college. Meanwhile, inside the venue, guards performed airport-style security searches on the 1,500 plus attendees. It might have been annoying to get frisked and surrender one's water bottle, true enough, but it was worth it given that no amount of intimidation by leftist thugs was going to sabotage this event on this day at this venue. And so it was that the stifling of free speech on university campuses went ahead, featuring free speech champions such as Saad, Amitay, and Jordan Peterson. The event was moderated by Serena Singh, who describes herself as a recovering social worker, and with good reason. Singh noted that she used to proudly label herself as a feminist and a social justice warrior. Indeed, she told the audience, quote, "Once upon a time, I would have been pissed off about an event like this," end quote. So what changed? Well, after working for more than 20 years in the social work field, a grim realization began to sink in for Singh. Namely, she concluded that her industry is corrupt. If you deviate from a Marxist, feminist, transgender, etc. philosophy, you will be demoted or fired. Singh realized that the left, which used to fight for free speech, is now on a crusade to stifle free speech, if free speech means that some people are made to feel uncomfortable, or if free speech runs contrary to the narrative of political correctness. Saad agreed, pointing to a sign he once happened upon at a university campus that read, quote, "We condemn freedom of speech that hurts other people's feelings," end quote. Saad noted that universities are now becoming intellectual echo chambers. Social justice, feelings, tolerance, and ideology is all more important than the truth. And perhaps most sadly of all, he pointed to a study that noted that more than half of the students on university campuses today say they practice self-censorship simply to avoid confrontations. And this climate of censorship, as mandated by the thought police, is spreading. Saad has had YouTube videos demonetized, he's been temporarily banned from Twitter, and he's had stories that were to run in publications devoted to psychology spiked outright. And again, the censorship of Saad has never been about libel or defamation or slander. Rather, it's about espousing viewpoints that are not deemed to be politically correct, which again might be viewpoints that are potentially offensive to someone somewhere. University of Toronto professor Jordan Peterson noted that not only are certain students taking part on a witch hunt against him these days, but even U of T's faculty association is going after him. The climate on campus, he says, has shifted so far to the left that the left doesn't seem to support what they once believed in. Indeed, he labels social justice warriors as nothing more than intellectual terrorists. And Peterson feels we've reached a true transition period. Things can go spectacularly good or spectacularly bad. But if a glimmer of hope abounds, it is surely this. Keep in mind there is no critical mass of students on campus behind the ongoing jihad against free speech. As Peterson notes, they don't have the numbers, they just have to be noisy. This is what's known as the tyranny of the minority, and the speakers noted it is now incumbent upon the silent majority to step up and reclaim our diminished freedoms or risk losing those freedoms forever. In the long run, the price one pays for speaking out is far less of a price one will eventually pay for not speaking out. This is precisely what the late great Ronald Reagan warned of in a speech about liberty. Quote, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same, or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States where men were free." End quote. For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, the Rebel has an all-new fall lineup. Please visit therebel.media/shows and check it out.